The old two-story house in the quiet suburbs of New Haven bore a timeless elegance. From the outside, its white columns and ivy-covered porch exuded charm, but inside, the echoes of time whispered through creaking floorboards, faint soot near the hearth, and hand-worn grooves in the staircase railing. Every imperfection was sacred to Clara Whitlow. "Zoe, breakfast," Clara called out, pouring fresh orange juice into a glass. She was tall, graceful, and carried the air of a thoughtful artist. Her long, dark chestnut hair loosely knotted, soft green eyes filled with intelligence and kindness. "Mommy, the clouds are dancing," 6-year-old Zoe called from the living room window. She had a boundless imagination, capable of turning clouds into dragons and shadows into stories. Clara smiled, but remained focused. "We don't have time for games, sweet pea. Your father has a busy day ahead." Julian Whitlow descended the staircase, coffee cup in hand, every inch the polished gentleman. Clean-cut and striking, he wore charm like a tailored suit, especially around colleagues and clients. "I have a crucial meeting this weekend," he said, brushing his hand through Zoe's curls. "If it goes well, things will change for us. Big time. I'll bring you something special when I'm back. Promise." Zoe beamed, and Julian winked before heading out. Clara, setting the table, felt a small twist of unease. Julian's recent behavior had changed, distant, secretive, especially since Clara's mother passed away 3 months earlier. She tried to shake the feeling. "How are preparations for the exhibit at the Grafton Gallery?" Julian asked. "There's still a mountain of work left," Clara replied. "But it's a showcase of forgotten female painters from the 20th century. It's deeply important to me." Clara had long been respected in the art world as a curator, known for her bold choices. Sometimes her dedication overshadowed family life, something that had once sparked Julian's resentment. "Oh, and my mother called. She's visiting this weekend," Julian said. Clara barely concealed her discomfort. Beatrice Whitlow, Julian's mother, was a master of passive aggression, a woman of elegant disdain. To her, Julian was flawless, and Clara an unwelcome accessory. "Zoe will be happy," Clara muttered. But even Zoe had her doubts. Beatrice's affection came only when Zoe behaved like a picture-perfect porcelain doll. Later, with Julian gone, the house grew still. Clara returned to sorting her mother's things, contemplating how to handle the inheritance, a substantial fortune left untouched. Her mind was interrupted by Zoe's small voice. "Mommy, look what I found." In her hand was an old photograph, Clara and her mother, laughing in a sunlit garden. "Do you miss Grandma?" Zoe nodded solemnly. "She told me a secret." "What kind of secret?" "I can't tell. It's between me and Grandma." Clara chuckled softly. Her daughter's fantasy life was vivid. But later that night, while finishing documents for the gallery, her phone rang. "I'm leaving early tomorrow," Julian said. "Need time to prepare." Clara's unease returned like a shadow. At dinner, Zoe was unusually quiet. "What's wrong, honey?" Clara asked. "I saw Daddy talking to Grandma Beatrice on the phone, but he was whispering. They were hiding something." Clara tried to dismiss it, but the worry stayed. Zoe's imagination had always run wild, but lately, it felt too specific. That night, Clara tried to sleep, but worry made her restless. She wandered the house. Julian's study, usually locked, was slightly ajar. She entered and, on a hunch, checked the bottom drawer. It opened. Inside was a thick envelope labeled, "Life Insurance, Clara Whitlow." Her hands trembled. It was a new policy. Beneficiary, Julian. Signed 1 week after her mother's death. Before she could process the implications, she saw movement outside. A black SUV. A man in a long coat paced the yard, murmuring into a phone. The next morning, as dawn broke, Clara stirred at the sound of a car door shutting. Zoe clutched her mother's arm. "Mommy, we have to leave now." Clara stared at her daughter's frightened eyes. "Why, sweetheart?" "Daddy and Grandma Beatrice want to hurt you." "I heard them. They want the money." "I found the house plans in Daddy's drawer," he said, This will work perfectly. Clara swallowed hard. All right, she whispered.
Get dressed.
Only what's necessary. She packed passports, cash, her mother's locket. As they crept downstairs, Julian's voice echoed from the living room. Activate the system when I give the signal. Everything's timed. Clara turned pale. She grabbed Zoe and rushed to the kitchen, only to find the back door locked. Suddenly, metal shutters began descending over every door and window.
Trapped.
The smell of gasoline crept in. Mommy, this way. Zoe tugged Clara's hand. Behind the pantry, Zoe revealed a hidden door. A dream told me. Grandma showed me. Despite fear, Clara followed. The narrow passage led them under the house. As the fire raged behind them, they crawled through the dark, soot-filled tunnel. Finally, a light appeared. It was the shed. They burst through the doors, coughing, as smoke curled into the sky. Let's go to Aunt Maggie's, Zoe said. Clara didn't hesitate. Maggie, her best friend, opened the door to find them covered in ash. Call the police, Clara gasped. Julian tried to kill us. Investigators arrived. Clara showed them the life insurance photo. Zoe told them what she'd overheard. Arson was confirmed. Traces of gasoline, hacked security systems, and no signs of accidental fire. Julian was arrested trying to flee the state. Beatrice was taken in soon after. Both tried to shift blame to each other. Eventually, Beatrice broke down in court. She wasn't right for him, she said. I had to protect my son's future. But it was Zoe's testimony that turned the tide, her account of the plan, the house blueprint, and the secret passage, guided by a dream. When asked who told her about the passage, she replied, my grandma, Clara's mommy. The court fell silent. Julian was sentenced to 15 years. Beatrice received 8. 6 months later, Clara and Zoe lived in a modest cottage near the woods. Peaceful. Safe. One autumn afternoon, Zoe came home with a drawing. Clara, Zoe, and Clara's mother. My teacher said it's going in the art show. Grandma would be proud. Clara smiled, hugging her. Michael Lane, Zoe's counselor, had become a steady presence. First professional, now something more. He joined them for Christmas by the fire. What is a real family?
Zoe asked.
Clara thought. It's about love, not blood. About protecting each other. Zoe nodded and looked at Michael. Can he be our family too? Clara blushed. Michael smiled. Maybe someday soon. Outside, snow began to fall. Inside, love had returned. And, thanks to Zoe's courage, so had hope.